15 days, we're going to win the great state of Florida.
Make no mistake about this, my friends.
5 months of grueling campaigning gradually comes to a halt as Americans begin to focus on the next leader of the free world. Bitter words have been traded, and friends, families, and institutions drawn into heated exchanges over the past few months that climaxes on Tuesday night. The Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump has kept up his rhetoric of fear and suspicion, saying the elections are going to be rigged, and accusing rival Hillary Clinton of not being trustworthy following the email scandals, even in the face of clearance from the FBI. Trump says she should still face charges. Trump has avoided presenting his tax records, but constantly accuses the Clinton Foundation of receiving cash from countries that support terrorism and that have no respect for women. He's gone as far as dragging former President Bill Clinton into the mix by referring to his sexual indiscretions while in office. But Russia thinks Trump is smart, a view not shared by many leaders around the world. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, has run a campaign constantly shrugging off email scandals, health scares, the Clinton Foundation, and more recently has been criticized by the Trump campaign for a song performed by U.S. rapper Jay-Z at a Clinton campaign on Saturday. She's outshined Trump in presidential debates, but has had to still cross the hurdle of winning over black voters and being constantly criticized for being part of the system she's trying to fix. The campaigns have been the most expensive, over $6 billion spent in ads, travel, and appearances. It all comes to an end Tuesday night, when the most important appearance will be an acceptance speech from the next president of the United States. Amarachi Obani, Channel Television News.
Well, I did say our panelists will be joining us to look at elections. We've spoken to all our reporters in the United States, and this time I'm privileged to have two professors join me, Akin Oyebode and Charles Dokubo. Good to have you join us, professors. And of course, we also have Odiri joining us. Odiri is also an expert in U.S. elections matter. Professor Oyebode, good to have you. It's been a while. The last time I had you on set live was 2015 elections, and it was also in this same studios. For this election, for so many people, they've been talking, and Nigerians have been speaking on this. There must be something that stood out for you in this election in comparison to other United States presidential elections.
Well, I'm not an expert on U.S. elections. I remember as a student, that's over 40 years ago, presidential elections, and the governor of my state, and Mike Dukakis, Massachusetts, was running and all that. So, but this one, I think, is a different ballgame, because the choice facing the Americans is a very stark one. You have a rambunctious, self-opinionated, insolent, I must say, candidate, facing what I would call a debonair, cosmopolitan, experienced woman, pretty ambitious, but who had paid her dues. She's been First Lady of Alabama, First Lady of the White House, Senator, Secretary of State, very highly experienced person. So the difference, or differences, should I say, as we say in Nigeria, like, you know, the soft drink, we also say is clear, the others are colored. So quite sincerely, I would be aghast if the results went contrary to expectations, because the choice is obvious for the Americans. If they blow it, Americans might have a lot to do to recover. But I don't think they will blow it. I think Americans are worldly wise. They should know what their interests are. And you can't put a loose cannon, so to speak, in the White House, instead of somebody who is well-seasoned and prepared for that office. That is my take.
Professor Dokubo, you know, looking at this, perhaps maybe from the Institute, trying to study and look at the kind of court following Mr. Trump has already, and if you go by what Professor Yobede has highlighted, one still wonders how come he still has that huge following amongst the Americans.
I'm not really surprised because, you know, American elections most times are turned up people that you wouldn't even believe that would have gone through the primary situations. I could remember when Reagan emerged at that time, and then most Americans, you know, should I say, middle class, even working Americans didn't believe that he would even win the elections. Then, you know, Carter faltered and all that, and he emerged. But be that as it may, this is a very different election. It's an election that places America's role in the world. What are we going to do with the alliances that have been set up for years since after the Second World War? Here is a man who tells you that all the countries could have nuclear weapons. They should also cater for their own defense. In as much as NATO depends on burden sharing and all that, I doubt if this man is Trump is capable of leading a country like America. He will just unravel everything that they've stood for all these years. And I doubt if the Americans are ready to take that step now.
Okay, Odiri, we'll come back to you. That will be after now. Let's just quickly go on this short moment, and we'll come back to look at the United States presidential elections a bit more.
The Channels 24 app means you'll never be out of touch with the news. Stay up to